I want to replace the indicator bulbs with LED bulbs to reduce the amperage that goes through the hazard switch and the rest of the system. My understanding is, for the ordinary bulbs, if you've got a 21 watt, you divide that by 12, each one of those bulbs, which is what the indicator is 1.75 amps. You've got 4 of those, so that's 84 watts. You've got 2 of those repeater bulbs, each one of those is 4 watts each, and that gives a total of 92 watts divided by 12, and you're left with 7.6 amps, which runs through the hazard switch, or half of that running through the indicators if you've only got one side on to turn left or turn right. 21 watt replacement LED bulb, they say, is 4 watts. And then you've got this 4 watt repeater bulb, and I can't find out what wattage that is as an LED, but let's say 0.8 watts. So in total, I think we've got 4 times 4 watts plus 2 times 0.8 watts gives a total of 17.6 watts. If you divide that by 12, you end up with 1.46 amps. I don't know, say 1.5 amps, 2 amps, as opposed to this 7.6 amps running through the system. So it does reduce the amperage. So what you need for each side is one of these 4 watt replacement bulbs for the repeater light on the side of the wings, and these 2 bulbs, one for the front, one for the back, to replace the indicator bulbs. These are the same size as the ordinary bulbs you take out. I have got some bulbs which are these, which I've put in one side of the car. They are taller, and I don't think there are any issues with contact with the lenses at all, but generally I think I'd prefer to go for these. This particular one is not the correct bulb, and you have to be careful when you buy these, as I made this mistake. If you look at the mounting lugs, the location lugs, they're not opposite each other, they're at an angle. The ones you need for replacement indicator bulbs are directly opposite each other. It's not always that clear, and it wasn't when I accidentally bought these. This is the 2-pin flasher unit, which came off Amazon, and I need a similar one for the hazard flashers to make those work. I don't think, because they're LEDs, it'll make that much difference whether you're using this one exactly the same as the flashers, even though with the hazard flashers you're calling on all 6 of those bulbs to flash. So those are the 2 identical LED flasher units that in my case have replaced those 2. It's wise to note the position of that wire, because when it goes back in, it does fit in a particular way. So you can see the springs, but there are big gaps, and that's because it does fit in. There is that lip there on top and bottom. That corresponds to those larger gaps that that's the LED. It's the same bulb for the front, and I've also changed the bulb for the side lights as well to an LED. This unit, when I first took it off, was pretty manky, rusty, but it's a cast unit. I decided in the end not to buy another unit because off eBay they weren't terribly expensive, but I just thought they're going to be some Chinese tat. So I just used the Dremel and a wire wheel, cleaned it up, and then I've sprayed it with a silver paint. I hope that's going to be okay. And at the back I've covered everything with Dynax. I was a little worried that this amber cover wouldn't fit over, but in practice it does. The other thing the club came to the rescue with on my car, these were on the wrong side. So this sort of clear circular bit goes on the inside. There are 3 bulbs, one at the front, one at the back, and this side repeater bulb that you have to replace for the LEDs to all work properly with the LED flasher unit. And this bulb is the same as the one that's on the side light. I think it's a 4 watt. There is a small adjuster there. Use a flathead screwdriver and you can adjust the rate of flash. So that's the slowest rate of flash, and then you can increase it further should you wish to a very rapid rate of flash. The only problem I had was rust in the repeater fitting, so that when I put the bulbs in I only got the front and back working. With the hazard flashes on the right in the picture, which are the left-hand rears, that has got the amber 21 watt equivalent LED in it, and it is brighter and much more orange. Similarly, at the front here you can see that again the one on the left, which is the left-hand indicator, is much more orange and brighter. And that is probably due to the fact that maybe it's a better bulb. It was more expensive, certainly. So I'm going to replace those on this right-hand side with those amber tinted LED bulbs, so that they all look the same. The hazard flashers are working off the same flasher unit as the indicators, and it's been going now for 20 minutes or so. So I don't think you need any different LED type flasher unit than the one you buy and use for the flashers itself. One of the downsides, I suppose, is there's no noise. It's just all very quiet. That's it. I'm quite happy with the way this has gone.